can stop.
Okay.
Sure. Alright, so what kind of work did you do as you were previewing today?
I looked at what this story had, like, in it. Like, was it, like, factual? Which it really is really factual.
Okay.
There's a lot of facts.
Okay. Anything else you noticed as you were previewing?
That it may not be what I expected it to be.
Okay. What were you expecting it to be?
I was expecting it to go like caves really far down into the earth, but when I was previewing some of these didn't look like they went that far down.
Okay. Not as deep as you thought they would be? Okay. So what have you just finished reading about in your book?
I was reading about a story about somebody falling in a cave.
Okay. And what exactly was, like, he fell in the cave? Can you tell me any more about it?
He was exploring for caves and then he fell in one. And he couldn't get out because it was a really far drop and his leg got stuck.
Okay. So did you figure out what happened? Did it tell you, or are you still reading that?
I'm still reading.
Okay, so far that's all you know? So he fell and he's trapped, kind of?
Yes.
Okay. So you said, did this teach me about what I expected to learn? You kind of already answered that question, haven't you? Okay, you were expecting it to be about caves way down in the center. You saw that maybe they weren't so much. What was telling you that they weren't so deep down? What in the book told you that? Or what picture? Did you see a picture, or what made you think that?
Like, here's one of the caves and it looks really close to this. But,
Oh, like to the surface?
yeah. Looks
Okay.
really close to the surface.
Okay. So when you were looking at it, you were previewing and saw this diagram, huh? Cool. All right. So is there anything you've learned so far that surprised you? I know you haven't read much of the book yet.
Not yet. Not much.
Not much yet? That's something to be thinking about as you read. Did you read any of this, or did you just start with that other section?
I read both these.
You read all of that? Nothing surprised you just yet? Is there anything that you've learned that was, new to you?
Yes. This African American back then worked in this cave and he helped with guides. And when he wasn't doing that, he went into some water and found a cave, like an entrance to another smaller cave add-on to this big cave.
Okay.
And when he found that, it didn't get much people, but it still got a few people to come to it.
Like tourists?
Yeah.
Okay, like that would want to see it?
Yeah.
And like explore?
Yes.
That's interesting. What made you pick up this book?
The picture on the front looks like all those stalagmites, I believe.
Mhm.
And I can't remember the ones on the ground.
Stalagmites and stalactites.
And
That's-
like how it's like all like that and how it's not very perfect.
Okay. Is this something that's interested you for a while, or
No.
did the book just catch your eye?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's something you thought, hey, I might want to learn about?
Yeah.
Okay. And so far, has it been pretty interesting?
Yes.
All right. Very good, Aiden. Okay. Okay, Jalen. So what book are you reading? Okay, so when you did your preview work with this, what did you do?
Right now I'm looking at some of the headings
Okay.
to see if it's like things I like and things that I don't like.
Okay. And have you found anything that you're interested in or not interested in?
Yeah.
What are some headings that stick out to you?
Frozen fossils,
And why does that seem interesting?
because I thought it was just going to be about snow because it says science in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
And like it might, I thought it would just be talking about like what people can do with snow and stuff like that, not like what animals lived in the snow, like before humans were around.
So are you using some of that background you know about fossils to kind of make some inferences there about what that section will be about?
Yeah.
Very cool. And so have you actually started reading any of the sections yet?
No.
Okay, so I think you haven't even started yet. You're just still doing previewing, and you already are a little surprised by what you're learning already, aren't you? Okay, what about the organization of it? That was something we talked about. Do you have any thoughts on how it's organized? The structure of it at all?
Not really. I might put like maybe some chapters before other chapters.
You might read them out of order. And what would make you want to do that?
Like frozen fossil. I would just start with like animals like polar bears and then fossils, and then I would start to go to like the snow, like about the snow, or like I would start with snow first since it's in the title, and then go to the animals.
Okay. So when you're making kind of a plan for reading, is that do you think that's how you're planning? You're going to plan to read it? Okay. And I bet if you read through these, different sections might be organized differently. So be thinking about that structure as you're reading through it. See if you can come up with some type of structure as you read that section that you're going to. And you know, you've previewed the whole book. Something else you could do is maybe preview that section then before you start that section.
Okay.
Okay? All right. What do you hope to learn from this book?
I hope to learn about fossils because I mostly know just about like the land animals and some of the ocean animals, and I'm hoping I learn more about ocean animals and like ice age animals.
Okay. And like animals from a long ice age, long in the past, right? Cool. All right. Well, keep those questions in mind as you read and see if there's, when you're done, if there's anything else you might be a little bit surprised about.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Good job, Jalen. What you need, Evan? Starting one.
I don't think I'll take the test on that.
You can do that and then get a new book to read, okay? All right, Miss Grace. Okay, so what kind of previewing work did you do?
When I looked at the
Boys
book,
and girls, make sure you're reading. Remember, we have Classroom Dojo going.
when I looked at the book, I thought about the title for a little bit, and I thought about which one would like win. And I know a little bit about these books because I've read some of them, and I'm thinking it's the hippo because I know usually the unusual it does what you don't think would be.
It's usually the opposite of what you think. So you know a little bit about the structure already because you've read some that are written this way already, is what you're telling me, right? Okay? So you're kind of prepared for that.
And then on this page, I didn't really pay attention to anything. I know it's just the title page. It doesn't have title or anything though.
Okay.
And then on this one, I really just read the previews.
Okay.
Just the did you know, the definition, not really the facts though.
Okay.
I looked at them a little, and then
Looked at pictures and headings. Okay.
when I looked at this, I looked at the types of rhinos heading and then the types of hippos. I read about something I noticed. I read some about. Like, I read about the color fact, the order fact, and then when I looked at this one, I thought there's only one. There's one doing why there's only one.
There's not that many types, yeah.
Could they be an endangered species?
Okay, so you have questions going already from your previewing. Very good.
And then when I saw this, I wondered why there was only like certain specks
Mhm.
and not like big areas,
Mhm.
just specks. And
In the countries, okay?
and then
Okay. So when you go back and read this section, you probably will get more information about it, right? It's just a question that came up as you're previewing. Good.
I looked at rhino diet, and then I looked at the picture, and I wondered what it was.
Mm.
And then I read a little bit of this,
Mhm.
and then I think this is a rhino that's pulling up grass to eat it.
So it's like its mouth, huh? I was
Mhm.
thinking it was its foot at first, too. Huh.
And then
Okay.
I read rhino baby.
Okay.
And then I read the tummy fact, and I wondered why it has 4 sections
Mm-hmm.
stomach instead of just like 1 or 2.
Okay.
And then I read the last part, and it says it takes a lot to digest grass.
You're doing a great job with previewing, Grace. One thing I see, you're getting sidetracked quite a bit, aren't you?
Mhm.
You're doing some good questioning and things, but remember previewing should be a little more brief. Okay, you're like, remember in our modeling with everything weather, how I got sidetracked with the mushroom? Yeah. So as you were previewing, and just a strategy to use, okay? Just a tip. You know, preview some of the headings, maybe go back, try not to get distracted by all those little cool things on every page, and be thinking, like you said, you kind of already know about the structure, so you're setting yourself up for that, and then go back, because I'm afraid if you get sidetracked all these times, that when you go back to read, you're going to think, oh, I already read that, and then you'll skip over it, and you'll be missing some stuff. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's something to think about. Is there anything that, so far in your previewing, that that you were unexpectedly finding out about? I mean, is there anything in here that you weren't expecting in your reading?
I couldn't help but notice this one picture, and I was wondering
Mm.
what it was, and I don't really think it's a real. I
Okay.
don't think it's
What does it
actually-
have to do with the bug-looking thing?
It looks more like a hippopotamus. than a bug.
Yeah. It does, doesn't it? Okay, so maybe some things like that.
Mm.
As you read, too, make sure you keep in your mind, is there anything that you're surprised about what you're learning, too? Okay, and I think you've done a little bit of that because, like I said, I think you're doing a little bit deeper previewing than what we had originally talked about. So some of that stuff's come up already. Okay, so just keep those things in mind, okay? All right, okay, get to work. All right, Miss Haley.